Hey there folks, just back again at this Berrimah camping ground. It's absolutely freezing here today, about 10 degrees. I know it can get colder in a lot of other places. I think it was about 5 degrees here yesterday, but winter's really turned it on. And a really popular, well-known, common eucalypt growing here is Eucalyptus pauciflora, snow gum. And it's a well-known eucalypt. One reason would be, it grows in the snow. It's one of the dominant ones in the Alps of Australia, Kosciuszko. And the other reason probably is because it gets these really beautiful bark patterns. Now, this one isn't doing it justice at all. And in this Wingecarribee area, and I think outside Kosciuszko, I don't see the trunks doing anywhere near the beautiful patterns that they can sort of put on, but in the snow in Kosciuszko, I've definitely noticed it. If you want to have a look at the patterns that the snow gum can put on the trunk, just Google it. Just Google images and you'll be amazed at the photos some people have. It's sort of verging on that rainbow gum that comes from the Philippines. It's just an amazing bark pattern. And I do remember doing some skiing for about 5 days or about 25 years ago and just being blown away as a 19-year-old by the patterns on the snow gums. This one's dropping some ribbons. We've got some ribbons down here. We've got like a scribbly gum looking trunk. There's a lot of scratches on it actually. But it's a bit of a scribbly gum looking trunk, but there are actually there is a scribble just there. So you might think this one is a scribbly gum if you don't pay close attention. The difference is just in the foliage. You have a look at the foliage up the top and it's just a slightly different looking foliage than what you get for a scribbly gum in this part of the world. It's very glossy and you can see the sun sort of putting a gloss on it. You just got to pay a bit of attention, a little bit like Eucalyptus seaberi maybe. There's a bit of a glint up there. And then when you get the foliage from sort of more juvenile trees, you can tell it's a snow gum very quickly. Look at this venation on the leaves. This really prominent venation that they have. It's really distinctive. I'm just going to get an individual leaf off. Or hold an individual one up here. It's just a venation on the leaves that is so recognisable. And it pretty much tells you got a snow gum straight away. As you can imagine, the leaves have to withstand the snow being dumped on them. They're very thick. They're a very thick feeling leaf, and I probably would call it capitulata thickness. So it's up there with Eucalyptus capitulata for how thick that leaf is. It should be concolorous. I got a nice sunny day here today. It's should be concolorous for the most part. And it's just that prominent venation that's the giveaway. Nothing like a scribbly gum. You got these sort of parallel secondary veins running up alongside the mid vein. It gives them a real sort of wattle type look. They sort of remind me of a wattle a little bit. Something like maybe Acacia longifolia or obtusifolia, but they're a bit fatter than that. These leaves here are, probably 15 centimetres long, and some of them are about probably potentially 4 centimetres wide, though they've had some insect chewing and insect damage. But quite recognisable. You can pick a snow gum basically by the appearance of the foliage. Obviously, it grows on cold flats and cold hilly areas that might be prone to a snow dump. It's a Pauciflora is a Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, Tasmania and South Australian tree. It just gets into the east of South Australia and it just gets into Queensland again through that Stanthorpe area. So it just blows into that Stanthorpe area. Stanthorpe is sort of the coldest place in Queensland and it just gets into there. It's growing here on sort of this sandstone, sort of sandy loam soil. Normally they're on soils of higher fertility. It's a very common species on the tablelands of New South Wales. It's all over the northern tablelands, central and southern tablelands. And of course there's a lot of it in Kosciuszko. Here's a sapling about 4 metres tall or so. It's got nice red yellow stems like seabury. It sort of reminds me of seabury a little bit. Apart from the trunk, Eucalyptus seabury is a bit reminiscent. It doesn't have veins as strong, but it's got those red stems and yellow stems. It's got strong venation in the leaves. It's got a similar leaf colour as well. I'd say the leaves aren't quite as thick. So it puts me in mind of Eucalyptus seabury. And then pauciflora goes through Victoria. It goes through the northeastern and eastern part of Victoria, sort of does an arc through Melbourne and gets into the southwest there. It doesn't get into the northwest of Victoria because that's sort of the drier, semi-arid sort of mallee country. And it's also in the sort of, I don't know, eastern half or northeastern half of Tasmania. So it's got a really big range. So most of the occurrence is in New South Wales, Victoria, and a good bit in Tasmania, just getting into Queensland and South Australia. Pauciflora is another one known for having a lot of buds in the umbellasta. It's said to have at least 9 and easily gets over 11 up to 15. And in this case, this guy, they're well and surely over 15. So we're getting into the realms of something like Eucalyptus radiata and Eucalyptus alata. I've already done counts on these guys and they're getting up to like 20 or 19. So there's about 19 to 20 buds in these clusters. Just have a look at the peduncles. They're really long. I would say 3 centimetres, easy. Or getting up to 3 centimetres. And then you got you got to expect more than 9 buds. This guy's commonly throwing, whether they're fully formed umbellastas or not, but easily getting over 11 most of the time. That one's on 11. There's another one here that's got heaps. Where's that one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 in that one. So I think there's a note on Euclid that says they get up to 49. I don't know if that's a typo and it's meant to say 19. It actually says 49, which would be taking it to the most extreme example I've ever come across. Maybe it's meant to say 19. Some of these guys have 19. So easily getting into that 15 to 31 bracket. Pauciflora has a fair few subspecies. I think it's got about 5 recognised. And some of those can be hard to differentiate in different habitats, but they've got sort of geographic areas. There's a very closely related lookalike called Eucalyptus gregsoniana in the Lithgow Bell area. And that's more of a narrow-leafed mallee, I understand. I've never really got my hands on that one. But this is nice and sound for pauciflora. I'll just see if I can find some fruits. They're pretty distinctive. And we might be able to wrap this one up a bit more quicker than usual. Just remember, thick leaves, concolorous, they're bluey green. They got a good hint of blue in them. Sort of a pale bluey green. I'm just trying to have a sniff of the leaves. Crush and sniff. Absolutely freezing here today. Yeah, they've got a nice smell to them. It's very strong. I don't know if it's quite eucalyptus-y. It's, yeah, I don't know what I'm getting really. There's a smell there, a bit of peppermint. Bit chemical anyway. So probably verging on something eucalyptus-y. But not really a tree you're going to have to test by its smell, I wouldn't think. I'll just show you another sapling here. You really can spot them a mile off. Just this one's got really fat leaves. That leaf there is about 5 centimetres across and, you know, about 10 centimetres long. So they do get leaves on the chunky side. They've got a nice generous canopy. Yeah, easily 4 or 5 centimetres across, some of these guys. So nice genuine fat leaves. Beautiful red stems. Just look at the stems, gorgeous. Pauciflora is meant to mean few flowered, a paucity of flowers. And everyone's saying it's a very confusing name because it actually puts on a lot of flowers. And I did photograph them in flower a couple of years ago at a rest stop, I remember, on the side of the highway. And the flowers are beautiful, big white fluffy flowers, really nice to look at. Got some fruit over here we can have a look at. I'm just going back to these peduncles on the buds. The website seems to be saying they only get to 1.5 centimetres long. These peduncles are a lot longer than that. They're 20 mil, 30 mil in some cases, maybe just hitting 30 mil. But on the websites, they're only stated as about 1.5 centimetres. But pretty sure this is good for old snow gum. I got the fruits here. Peduncles on these fruits, or holding the fruits, seem to be a little bit shorter. So that's all good. Nice cup shape to them. They got a thickened disc. Again, a little bit reminiscent of Eucalyptus seabrii. That's what I'm linking this guy to with some of its features. The fruit can be about 11 mil long by about the same wide. I think it can be up to 13 mil long by 11 mil wide. But they got that nice thickened disc there. They got a very seabrii look. Got the thickened leaves again. And remember the clustering, they're meant to be coming from a flower cluster of 9 to 15 or more, up to 20 maybe. But you can see a lot of these fruits have fallen off. But they're a good size. They're a nice chunky size. Not really on the small side at all. They're a nice chunky fruit. Just got the way they're going down through the branches here. Just a nice handsome fruit. Way bigger than what you get for a scribbly gum, especially in this part of the world. Even if you got Eucalyptus hemistoma, they could be as fat as this in theory, but they're not as long. And in this part of the world, we get the old sclerophylla, well, racemosa, where the fruits are very tiny. So these are a much different fruit, but I think they're a real, not quite a seabrii looking fruit, but they do look very seabrii-like. Just note the foliage again. So that's probably enough for our Eucalyptus pauciflora. It just doesn't get the beautiful bark patterns, but they're still a handsome tree. They will look like a scribbly gum from a distance. So you just got to take time to check them out. The other day on the Wombeyan Caves Road, I got them growing together. I got scribbly gum growing next to snow gum. Just got to pay a bit of attention and make sure you discern both of them. The fruit and the fruit will definitely help. Fruit and the leaves are going to be the main things which help you discern between the two. Alrighty, beautiful snow gum. There's a lot of them here at this Berrimah campgrounds. Some of them look like they've been planted in the car park. I'm just not sure. But there's plenty of sort of remnant ones and regenerating ones through this patch here on the Wingecarribee River.